Hey, it's Mark Yagi, and in this video, I'm going to go over how I was expecting to make about $11,000 in a week, and how we've compressed that time frame into just a couple of days on MicroStrategy. So if you want to see how to make reliable income from the market and a way to accelerate it, well, here we go. So MicroStrategy, if you look at your screen, I have 12 of the 175 deep in the money contracts that expire in June. And you can see those have a 97 delta. And a 97 delta means the option performs at 97% of what the stock performs. Stock goes up 100 bucks, the in the money call is going to go up $97. Okay. Against those last week when the stock was at about 317, I rolled up from my 307.50s. I like to stay in the money, so I rolled them up from 307.50s to 312.50. Well, that's pretty in the money now because now the stock's at 348. So it's about what, $30, 35 bucks higher, 36 bucks higher than that. So you can look over here, and I got about $9 in juice last week. Now, we break up the premium into two things: in the money amount and out of the money amount, okay? In the money amount is called intrinsic value in the money. Out of the money amount is called extrinsic value. Pretty simple. I call it the juice because I talk about it all the time. It's easier. And so the juice is what we're after because that's the income. No matter what happens to the stock, you're always getting that income, and you sell it today, and by the time it expires, it's always worth zero or almost zero, okay? So a lot of you say, well, you're losing money when it goes over your strike price, but if you really know what we're doing, we're not losing money at all. We are making money because we're making money on the juice, okay? And so let me show you what that looks like. On the 312s last week, I remember I have 1,200 contracts, or 1,200 shares, 12 contracts. I traded this for $14.50. Well, it was in the money by like $5. It was around $3.17 or so. So that means about $5 of that was in the money amount, and the rest of it was juice. So that was about $9, if I remember right, of juice. And 9 times 1,200 gave me, roughly $10,000, $11,000 on the trade. Okay, so I sold it for $14.50. Now, remember, the $14.50 is the total premium that I got, and that includes in the money amount and juice. Now, I'm just going to show you what the juice is now. It's 52 cents. So I got $9 last week in my wallet, and to get out of it, I've got to pay, 41 cents it says on the screen right there, right? So I've got to pay 41 cents to get out of it. Now, to really get out of it, I've got to pay this $37.20 in intrinsic if I roll all the way up to the money, okay? And those of you that have been trained in traditional covered calls by all the other people out there, you're thinking I'm losing money because it rolls up. And if you look at the P&L, it seems like it. That's the weird thing about doing this in the money thing. But it's not true because I don't care that the stock is down 27,000 because this one here, P&L open, keeps going up. And I know it's confusing because this one is so much higher than 312 and this one only went up a little bit today, but I'm telling you, this is the way that goes. And if you don't believe me, go back and watch the video that I put out last weekend on the math of these 40, 50, almost 50 trades now since November 20th. And so there's 50 videos now in this series on MicroStrategy. And if you watch it from the very beginning, starting in the playlist November 20th, called MicroStrategy Playlist or whatever it is, it shows you that I'm up a bunch of money. And now this week, everything's up even more. Why? Because if you look at the math video last week, I think this was like worth 159. Look at it now. It's worth 213. So if you're thinking that I'm losing money because this number is going, more red, right? You're forgetting about this number going more green. Okay? And so that's why I always tell my students, focus on the juice. Focus on the juice, and the juice will set you free, man. It's so good, right? And so now I get to buy this back for 52 cents worth of juice. Basically, I've made almost $11,000, if I'm just my head math correct, on this trade. And it's only Wednesday, and I still have 2.5 days. So I have a rule that when I make most of my juice, okay, I'm going to go ahead and roll the trade. Now, here's the little twist or the chink in the armor. MicroStrategy has numbers next week. Now, I don't believe in being exposed during earnings. So what do? Well, I like to be deep in the money. And I like to be deep enough in the money such that I can't lose in the money amount. That's kind of what I'm hoping. On the same scale, I'm trying to balance on the other side, getting a little bit more juice. So I have this opportunity now that the stock is up a lot today. Now you can see it at 349.15. You can see it up today. And it was up yesterday, and I think the day before. I mean, there's because Bitcoin's going up. I have the opportunity to roll this early, okay? So here's what I'm going to look at. I have two choices. Oh, by the way, I'm not going to roll up all the way, because then if the thing goes back down, I would have wasted my in-the-money amount and spent money on the way up. If it goes back down, I get what's called whipsawed. And I'm trying to avoid the whipsaw, at the same time balancing the juice, at the same time taking advantage of the time that I have left on this contract, and maybe even for next week. So let's look at these MicroStrategies that go out let's look at this week first, okay? And so we're going to roll up about halfway. It's 349 minus 312 is something like, I don't know, 37 bucks or something like that. So I'm going to split that in half and roll up about halfway. So maybe 18 bucks. The 320s or the 22, something like that. Anyway, let's look. Okay, so the juice is only $1.14 even at the 320s. The 330s are paying $2.09. That's not interesting for me. I got to buy it back, and then I'm going to get only $1.90 for the next 2.5 days. While that's good, it's only another couple of grand. I'm not sneezing at that. I'm just going to say now I have the opportunity to get a couple extra days this week plus next week if I look at next week. So let's go ahead and look at next week's, and we're going to roll. Hang on a second. I got to scroll all the way over here. Okay, so we're going to, if we add 18 to the 312s, that puts me at like the 330s. Okay, look at the juice there. That's the juice column, the extrinsic value. On the 330s, I get 844. Okay, that's another 10 grand. And I get still a bunch of cushion because I'm going to get this $20 worth of cushion because it's in the money 20 bucks. Well, we know that MicroStrategy can move back $20. So I'm taking a little bit of a risk of rolling up. But what I'm hoping, okay, hope is not a strategy, but what I'm hoping is that MicroStrategy continues to go higher, meaning Bitcoin is probably going to continue to go higher, meaning people are going to be buying MicroStrategy possibly into earnings, driving it higher. That means I go deeper and deeper in the money. The other option, guys, is that I could just do nothing. And I've got all this protection if the stock comes down from 350, where it is now, 349, all the way down to 312. I can't lose a dime. I've made all my juice, right? Or I could have made, like if it ended today, I would have made all my juice. And I have all this protection, like 30 bucks worth of protection or 38 bucks. I don't have any bad options here, right? The only issue that I want to avoid is the whipsaw now, right? And I still want to collect some juice. So I'm going to take this opportunity to go ahead and roll to these 330s, okay? So here's how I do it. Go back to my monitor. I pull up the 312.50s, which right now are 54 cents in juice, and I'm just going to roll those. Create a rolling order, okay? So I'm buying back these for this week, and I'm selling the May 2nds, but I'm going to move these to the 330s, right? That's what we agreed to, right? So the 330s, I'm going to put in a market order. It's moving all over the place anyway. They're going to give me a good fill because it's just computers doing the business. And boom, boom. Okay, so let's make sure that everything's cool in there. And I immediately want to write down how much juice that I got. So it's about 62 cents, 52 cents, something like that. It just said 62. So that's about what I'm going to assume that we paid for that. 1857 of intrinsic value in the money amount, and 836 or 8 whatever I just said of juice. Okay, so if I do 8 times 8,000, I don't know, it's like 9,500 bucks or something like that. Here's the real number. Okay, so you see how it's all shaping out, and now all I have to do is hope. Hope is not a strategy, but if the stock stays above 330 by the time this expires, or before I roll it, because I usually roll every week, and you see me rolling. Because I can get more juice, then I'm happy because I make my most amount of profit on it because the juice squeezes out and it becomes zero as it approaches expiration. Two questions that people always ask right here. Mark, what happens if it goes higher your strike? Are you worried about being executed and assigned, like having them take the stock away from you? Why would you worry about making the maximum amount of profit on your trade? Number one. So what? They take it away. Cool. I made my maximum amount of profit. It never happens, guys. It just rarely happens where they take the stock away from me because it's in the money. because I roll before it expires. Even if it's 2 minutes before it expires, I still am rolling. Now, if you let it expire, they're going to obviously assign you the stock, or at least there's an opportunity for that. Now, here's an advanced answer to that question. If they do happen to assign my stock, and meaning what they're going to do is I've agreed to sell them my stock at 330, they're not going to execute this one down here. There's too much juice left in it. Look at the juice left in this. That would be unfair for the brokerage firm to do that, and they don't need to because they're protected with that. What they'll do is they'll put you short at 330. And so what happens is you wake up Monday morning and you go into your computer and you're like, hey, what's going on, computer? How's my account? And boom, you've got 1,200 shares of MicroStrategy that you're wearing at 330 short, okay? You're short it. You got a bunch of cash in your account because you sold it. But now you're down, at 330. Well, that's okay. We already got this in the money amount here. So it offsets that. So it's not like you're down. All you got to do is Monday morning, you go in, you go, let me go ahead and buy to cover, and you cover that trade, meaning it takes the money back out of your account, and then you don't have the stock anymore, and then you sell another call against it. It's no big deal, right? And a lot of you are saying, aren't you losing money if it goes over the strike? Well, if you followed what I just said, that we're in it for the juice, the base position goes up, the in the money amount goes up on my short position, so those kind of offset, right? So I'm good. Like the remainder is, if you pull those apart, I get the juice. And that's what I'm in this for. And I'm making about $10,000, $11,000 a week. And I'm pretty happy with that on this trade. At this point, we're probably up 35,000, 40,000, getting close to. And, the stock is down huge. Of course, it's down less huge than it was. It's probably down 25% from its high at 543, or maybe 20% from when I got into it at 477. But I am not worried about this. We want our covered calls to go higher. It's a bullish strategy. And if you don't think it's a bullish strategy, you need to go do some research on the internet, because you make your most amount of money when it's going up. The problem is a lot of people are trained to buy low and sell high, and they think if something is capped and it's going up that you're losing money. They just don't know. They don't know because they're looking at it in a buy low, sell high fashion. Like, oh, I could have made so much more money if I'd have sold out of the money calls. Or I could have made so much more money if the stock ran and I just owned the options. Well, we're not in that game. We're in the income game. We don't care if the stock goes up or down, within reason, right? We care about the juice. And so I'm always trying to position myself to make the most amount of juice every single week. Does that make sense? So those are the two big objections and the big questions that a lot of you are asking. And I just want you to know that I'm not worried about it. It's not an issue. And if you're asking those questions, either you're new or you're not willing to do some research or watch a couple of my other videos, I don't know, to show you that, look, that's not the risk. The risk of this thing is the stock dropping. That's your risk. It's a bullish strategy. If the stock drops, you're losing money on your base position. Yeah, you make some juice, but you don't want the stock to drop. Imagine being in Tesla at 488, right? And it went from 488 to 214 over the ensuing couple of months. If you're selling out of the money calls, which is great and it works too, but you're not getting any protection on the way down. I get the protection and I get the juice. I'd rather have it that way. It's less risk for me. It's, I don't get the big runs when the stocks go up, but I'm not Nostradamus. I don't know if stocks are going to go up or down or sideways. This is a crazy market. I'd rather be in the money protecting myself and getting $10,000 a week in juice and still have some downside protection, like, $20 of it or whatever, than to be out of the money, making the same amount of juice, but hoping that the stock is going to go up. Because if it doesn't go up, I don't make the money. Does that make sense? All right. If it doesn't make sense, go back and watch it. I probably talked way too much on this. And if you're new to this channel, thanks for joining. Maybe hit the subscribe button. Share this with people that you know that are looking for passive income or looking for option strategies. Give me a like, subscribe, all that stuff. I love comments too. If you want to comment, tell me what you like, what you don't like. If you want to tell me what you don't like, be constructive about it. Don't make fun of my bald head or whatever. I can take it, but it's not helping other people learn. And we're all about learning on this channel. If you want to go a little bit farther with me, I have a whole I have a whole course. I have mastermind programs to help you do this. And a lot of people are looking at them like, well, I don't want to. I can get all this information on YouTube. Yeah, you can. I put it all out there for you to see. But I have it organized into course modules, with about 120 videos. It's a lot of videos, but I consider it like a college level course. And I always say, what's worth doing is worth doing right. And so if you're going to learn how to make money in the market, why don't you invest in yourself, whether it's with me or with anybody else out there, but learn a system. Because if you don't have a system, you're just clicking a mouse, hoping your stock is going to go up, thinking you have a strategy. You've got to have a system. What happens when the market goes up, down, sideways? What are you doing? Like today, would you have rolled up? I'm not saying it's the right answer. I'm not saying it's the right answer. I'm not saying I have all the answers. I'm saying I play the probabilities. And most of the time, because I've been doing this for decades, right? Off and on, but a lot in the last decade for sure. Decade and a half, actually. I've seen the patterns. They repeat themselves, right? And a lot of people quit at the wrong time. And a lot of people don't know what to do. And they think that, they listen to some schmo, including me, I'm a schmo, out on the internet, and the schmo is telling them to sell out of the money at a 30 delta or something. There's no system to that. Yeah, I can tell you to do that. That's free, okay? And everything out here is free. But, you should probably invest in yourself, and it'll probably pay itself back very quickly. Anyway, I'm not gonna pitch a bunch of stuff because, frankly, if you're not ready to buy it, I don't want you in it anyway. But just if you wanted it to be available, I want you to know that I have stuff. So there it goes. I'm pretty excited about that. Look at it. It's gone higher now. Just to kind of finish this up, it's gone higher, and the juice has already come back down. I think I was 835 in juice, and now the juice is only 801. And the lower the juice goes, the more money I make, because that juice goes into my pocket. There it is, 789. So already I'm starting to make money on the juice. That's because it's going more in the money, and the more in the money it goes, the smaller the juice gets squeezed down. And I like when the juice gets squeezed down. Did you get all that? All right. Hey, thanks for sticking with me all the way. If you did, great. By the way, if you're not subscribed to my newsletter, now would be a good time. I'm going to leave you now. See you. Bye. Let me ask you something. Are you tired of losing money in the stock market? Are you tired of watching your portfolio go nowhere while the markets swing up and down? Or maybe you handed your hard-earned money to a financial advisor, hoping they'd help you grow it, only to be disappointed by high fees and underwhelming returns? I get it. I've seen it all. And that's exactly why I created the Cash Flow Machine Elite course, to put the power back in your hands. This isn't just a theory. This is real, in-depth training on how to generate consistent weekly income from your existing portfolio using covered calls, just like the ones you see in my videos, but at a whole other level. Every week, you could be generating hundreds or even thousands of dollars in premium income, enough to easily pay for this course in a matter of weeks. And more importantly, enough to build a life where your money works for you and not the other way around. Let's be clear, this course isn't for everyone. It's not for people looking to get lucky. But if you got a decent sized portfolio and you're ready to stop hoping and start earning, then you owe it to yourself to invest in the knowledge that can change everything. The Elite course is now open. The results speak for themselves. Click on the link below and let's build your cash flow machine together. Hey, it's Mark Yagi, and if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do that right now. That would be a great favor to me, and plus it helps me get this material out to a lot of other people that might need it. I've got a little bit of a movement going on here, and I want to try to change the world one person at a time, showing them that you can make safe, reliable income from the stock market. And plus it helps to grow the channel a little bit. Also, if you would give me a thumbs up on the video and like it, great. If you don't like it, give me a thumbs down, that's cool. But just tell me why you don't like it so I can get better. And then hit the notification bell so you can get these videos as soon as they come out, because a lot of times this is timely information and you want to get that information before it gets stale. The last thing is to join my free Insider Tips newsletter. There's a link below and you get everything in one spot. You get breaking news and analysis also. So that would be great if you could do that too. See you soon.